Hi everyone, it's Helen here and thank you for joining me today. So I have a very quick and easy mini album that you can fold together with using one piece of 12 by 12. Now I have made a very similar mini album to this before on my channel and I will link that down below because it's just super easy, but I've not made one using 12 by 12 size. So I have one of my albums here. Let's have a quick flick through. Again, this is made using one sheet of 12 by 12 and we have a pocket here. We have a pocket in the middle, there we go, and we have a pocket on the end here. There we go. Right, let's choose our next piece of paper. I do have a part 2 coming for this particular project. You can keep these separately as mini albums, or you can pop these together to make signatures for a larger album, which is what I'm going to be doing in part 2 of this video. So let's choose our next paper. I kind of want a green shade, so I think I'm going to go for this one. There we go. And I'm going to manually fold this, but you can actually do this on the scoreboard, and I will leave a link to my website that will have all of the measurements for that. So I'm going to show you how to fold it manually, although you will get a more accurate fold using the scoreboard. I'm just going to use one of my brand new bone folders. This one was ordered from Spain. I absolutely love this one. It's a Teflon one. Okay, so I've turned the paper round and I'm going to fold that again exactly in half, and that will give me 4 6 by 6 pieces, or 4 squares, sorry, not pieces because I haven't cut it. Okay, so you should have something that now looks like that. Okay, so this does have a direction. So I just want to make sure I get that in the right direction there. Okay, so what I'm taking is one of the sides, and I'm going in and I'm folding it to the center line. Do the same on the other side. I'm not going over the score line at all, I'm literally just about meeting it. Okay, so now I'm going to grab myself a pencil because we're going to do some cutting now. So we have an intersection here with these 2 rectangles, and I'm going to pop a dot there and pop a dot on the other side. So grab yourself a ruler and a craft knife, and I'm going to cut all the way along there to the other dot. So I'm going to have an opening right in the center of my piece of paper. And if you want, you can use a paper trimmer if you have one of those. I think it's mostly the Fiskars ones that have like the little arrow there, so you can go in and pop in halfway through the paper and stop and get an exact measurement. Okay, so let's fold this in half. And I did actually miss some of that score line. I went a bit low below that, so I'm going to cut that off because that is going to be visible. Okay, I think that's the best I can do for that. I might be able to get a little bit more off there. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to stand this up. So we have the opening at the top, and what we're going to do is we're going to pull it out so it's very, very simple star shape, and then we are going to fold it down just like so. Now I'm just going to double check that I have folded it, because you can go either way, like that or like that, so I am going to test it before I kind of start folding. Okay, so I need to fold it this way, which is the other way, and as you go along, use your bone folder as you go. Okay, so I'm folding over the next page over, whoops, from left to right, and we're taking over the last page now. There's nothing here. We're going to take that page and fold that over from left to right. I have this gap here because I did do a manual fold These ones I used on the scoreboard, and you can see that they're a lot neater, but again, those measurements are on my website. It's a lot easier working from something that's written down than me just giving you out numbers. Okay, so let's start at the beginning now. So we have one page here, we have a side page here, top pocket at the top, I haven't glued it together yet, and then a side page just like that. So if you don't have that orientation, just twist your star, go back to the beginning and twist your star around to go the other way. I'm hoping that makes sense, and then you will have this orientation that I have there. Okay, so let's open this up now. There we go. Right, let's find that opening. We're going to open this up just like that. So we have a page that looks just like that. And again, I have another tutorial on this exact same one using an A4 sheet of cardstock, and that will be linked down below. So on that tutorial I used tape, but on this one I'm going to be using glue. I'm trying out the art glitter glue. So far I absolutely love it. The key is to keep this pin nice and clean. Okay, so we need to add some glue just along here and then down there. Now the reason why I'm using glue here is because these are going to be pockets, and when you use dry adhesive, as in a tape adhesive, your inserts can get stuck, whereas if you use a glue that dries completely, things won't get stuck. Okay, so I've glued that one down, so we've made ourselves a closed page there, and then we need to add a bit of glue just along the top there. And then press that down. And then we have a central pocket here where it goes all the way through. So make sure you have the album in the way you want it. So that's going to be my pocket, another side pocket. So I'm going to glue this bottom section here. And again, this is a lot easier to use with glue than it is with tape. Let's get that there. Okay, so that is mostly our mini album complete. I need to put this pin back in. I don't want it to dry out. Okay, so now we need to cut our inserts. So I'm going to be using some green cardstock. This is Pastel Green by Foundations Card, Creative Expressions, my favourite brand. So let's grab a paper trimmer. This is one of my offcuts from one of the other albums. So I'm going to cut this at 5.5. That is going to be the height. Now for the side pockets, it needs to measure 3. So I'll get 2 of those. Grab myself another piece of card. I'm going to cut this at 2 3/4, and again the measurements for these will all be listed on my website, and that's going to be by 5.5. So this one is slightly slimmer than the other two, and I'm going to use a corner rounder now. So if you have the We Are Memory Keepers corner chomper, you can use that. I do have a little one here by Xcut. I'll see if I can find a link for this. It is quite an old punch, but if you were ever a scrapbooker 15 plus years ago, you will probably have one of these in your stash, because these were all the rage back then. If you are a scrapbooker, I'd love to know when you started scrapbooking. I love that. So it's just so interesting finding out how long people have paper crafted and how long you've been a scrapbooker and all that. Okay, so I'm going to grab a 1-inch circle punch now. I'm going to start with the first pocket. Now this one is a Stampin' Up one, but if you can get your punch in to do this, so you can see where you're punching. That will be really good. If you have the envelope punch board from We Are Memory Keepers, you can use that for this purpose too. So I'm in the central page now, the central pocket page, and it's going to be really difficult to slide that in because it's quite a slim page. I'm going to cut that, and then I'm on the end page now, and I'm going to try and centre that the best I can. And I'm taking it up to the middle of the circle there. Whoops, I almost cut that in the wrong place. And cut that out. Okay, so let's pop our pockets in. So we've got the larger ones for the side pockets here. There we go. Got the central one, which takes the slightly slimmer one. Pop that in. You can add tabs and tassels and, you know, bells and whistles if you want to those tuck-ins here, so you can pull them out quite easy, but the thumb holes should be good enough. Okay, so let's take those out. If you push these in too far, it may have trouble closing, so just keep it quite loose and it should be good. So let's help this keep its memory in staying closed. There we go. Okay, so that is our next album, and now this one here is going to sit inside these three there. Now in my head I have two options on what I can do with this to make this into a full album, but that is going to be part 2, and hopefully I'll be able to use these tassels, and also potentially, I'm not too sure yet, but I'm hoping I'll be able to use some of this gold texture craft text type roll. This has been washed already. This one is from Sizzix, and this will be in part 2 depending on whether I decide to use that or not. So if you like this little project, give me a thumbs up. If you make one of these, I'd love you to join my Facebook group, Paper Crafting with Helen Griffin, and I'll put that link down there below as well, because I love seeing all of the makes that you have made from my tutorials, and that's going for the same for any Simply Made Craft projects that you've made as well. So thank you very much for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.